Hello, welcome to the video. Welcome to the shed. This is my little man cave. When I put this together, when I built it, I got an electrician to put the electrics in, but what I didn't do at the time was I didn't feed an Ethernet cable through, so I've ended up doing that as a separate job, but I've finally got it in and I've got a socket in the shed. One of the reasons for that was I've put a Wi-Fi link in here, so that I've got a router in here working as a separate Wi-Fi system. But even doing that, the signal doesn't get through all the time. I've tried all sorts. I've put an extra socket on the wall with a Wi-Fi signal in it. That didn't work. I've ended up putting some Cat6 cable into a socket, wired that up to a TP-Link access router, and it works, but sometimes it can be a bit odd. When I'm on Xbox playing FIFA, sometimes it slows right up or it cuts out. So what I decided to do was start using patch cables to each individual thing. So one to the computer, one to the router, one to the Xbox, and I've ended up with a bit of a mess of patch cables. So what I decided to do was buy a switching box. Sorry, wrong way around. Switching box. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what's in the box, and then I'm going to show you how I fitted it and the difference it's made, clearing up all the wires. I'll show you how the wires look at the minute and then how it looks afterwards. And I had to make a few more patch cables because they've got different lengths of wire. I'm not going to show you how I made the patch cables. There are a lot of videos on YouTube showing you how to make patch cables. You can get them 10 a penny at the minute, but I just thought I'd show you this switching box because it was only £13 off Amazon. Really good value and it's working a treat. So I'll show you these bits and I'll come back to you later. Thank you. So as you can see here, bit of a mess for wires. Looking at the Ethernet cables, there are 3 separate ones. They're all over the place. I've got a hub there and I've got one there for my Xbox, and this is what I'm looking to replace basically. So I'm going to try and tidy this up by putting the switcher in. So we'll get on and unbox it. Right, so let's get this unboxed. Which way do we go with this? Don't suppose it matters. So this is a TP-Link Ethernet switcher. So it's a 5-port gigabit desktop switch. Let's put my glasses on, I can see what I'm doing. Okay, 5-port gigabit switch. It's a TL-SG105S. Plug and play. Durable metal casing. Gives traffic prioritization. All that bump. So hopefully we can get the box open. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we've got inside the box. Oh, we can get it out. All that out. So we've got the installation guide, which very simple, plain instructions. I've got an idea what I'm doing with this, so I'm not really bothered about them. Then you've got your gigabit box, which is aluminium. Very good quality, very well built. What else have we got in here? We have our power plug, power brick. We've got another little leaflet here. And we've got some little feet. So that's if you're going to stand it on the desk. I'm actually going to put this on the wall. So the idea is that I plug my router cable into here, and then I've got 4 ports then to move everything about. So put the box away. So as you can see before, everything's a bit of a mess. So I'm going to be fitting this now underneath the desk, put everything into here, and then link everything back up again. So I'll get on with that and I'll come back at the end of that. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to get the holes accurate for this. So there's the 2 holes on the back of there. I'm going to put a piece of paper on. And then if you rub over the top of this, and you get the outline of where the holes are, so that I can get the screws in accurately. Yeah. Now I know where I'm going to be drilling. So what I'm going to do, get my piece of paper, place it underneath that. It's a weird angle to be doing this. Let's move that around so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so put my screw in the middle of my template. Make sure it's on the right way round, the drill that is. Put my screw in the middle of my template. Screw it in. And then do the same with the other one. Oh, put it in the middle. Oh dear. Right, and that way. Oh, for goodness sake. Where's that gone? I don't know why it's so hard to drill into this. You think it just go straight in. It's only drilling OSB. There we go. Get the paper away. And then we get our router or network switcher. And we click it on that. Now, it's a bit wobbly. I'm going to take the screws in a bit more. I want it to be tight really. There we go, that's a bit better. Still not brilliant. Get it a bit further. That's better, that'll do us. So, we've got our box on the wall. I'll plug these back in and we know what goes where. Let's see if we've got enough room to put our network cables in. This one is going to come from the router, so that one, let's have a look how to put it up. Take it off again for a sec. Right, so the router is going to go into that one. That'll be the router cable. Clip back on. There we go. Clip back on. So the router cable's in. You can see I've got a spare plug there. This may have to move down slightly, but we'll see if that's the case in a minute. So the next step then was to clear the desk and get all the cables out the way. So it was at this point I realised I needed to create a load of patch cables, because obviously the ones I've got weren't big enough to do what I needed to do. So I've done this off camera, because like I said earlier, there's loads of videos on YouTube about patch cables. You can get loads of them to see how to make them. So I basically created the patch cables off camera. So I'll go back and show you how I've finished off the desk, and then I'll show you the result of installing them. So you can see here I was putting all the shelf back, refitting the computer by drilling a hole for the Ethernet cable, then put the hub back on, put my Mac back on, and then reworked all the wires around so it looks quite neat and tidy. So I just thought I'd show you a couple of bits that I've used while doing this. These I like in particular because they're what's called a pull-through RJ45 plug. As you can see there are little holes in the end, so when you put your cable in, it pulls through the other side, and you can see that everything is in the correct order, your colours are in the right order, so you know that you've got your plug in properly. Basically what I do, you push it through, crimp it, and then you can buy a tool these days that crimps and cuts them at the same time, but it's pretty expensive compared to getting one without. So basically I just get a Stanley knife, very sharp blade, make sure I cut them off level, and it works every time, so that you can make a patch cable like that, as you can see there. Nice little cut at the end, everything connects, all the copper showing. And just to prove that this is a working method, I've got my cable tester here, so I shall plug that end in and plug that end into the other one, and then if I switch it on, you can see that we have got the lights to tell us that we have connections. Yeah, all 8 lights are coming on, so that tells us that cable is connecting and we've got a decent connection on it. Again, this tester, I got this off Amazon I believe it was, and it was about 10 quid, and it's been worth its weight in gold, because if you put in cables together and you get it wrong, you don't want to be digging them all out again. Best thing to do is test it before you plug it all in, make sure you got it together. The other thing with this is sometimes it shows up as a fault, and all it is, I've just not crimped it hard enough. Put it back in the crimper, give it a good squeeze, and it seems to work again. You can get quite a few of them, they're literally pennies. The other thing is these, I mean these are dead simple. I got these from my local hardware shop. Sticky back, and the cables that have gone under the desk, I've basically stuck that there, put a cable tie through, cable tied them to the desk so they stay nice and neat at the back of the desk. Just a couple of little bits. I mean that they are, I think they're £2 for 40, and I use them all over the place. I use them everywhere, so they are really good. So just a couple of tips there on stuff you can use to do this job. So I thought I'd show you the end result. So we basically have one cable now, which is my internet in. As you can see under there, you can see those little cable ties I've used to stretch the cable round. Yeah, and then underneath, let's go underneath. Oh. We have the box there, and as you can see, all the lights are blinking away to say that we've got network. And I've tidied this up a little bit by putting a piece of supporting wood under there, but the cables are pretty much under the desk, they can't really be seen, and I'm not really bothered about the aesthetics because there's only me in here. Oh, sorry, get up again. And then if we go behind the Mac, you can see the hub is there and where the cable's coming up through the desk. So yeah, so that is it. As you can see, the Wi-Fi is turned off. I'm actually using a wired cable for my Mac now. Hope this has helped and helps you out if you're trying to think of doing this. It's quite simple, it's all plug and play. There's nothing majorly complicated about it. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video.